Hey guys, so our lamb developed a limp a couple days after we put her and her mother goat out on pasture. So what you're going to see is all of our goats are in their winter shelters, which is not what I would really like. But I'm trying to watch this lamb and see why she's limping. The research I did said that she has a foot scald, which is a bacterial infection into the gland between their toes on their front feet. And all the research I've done says that you just have to use an antibiotic on it. It's serious because it can develop into foot rot, which is really not something we get very often here. Our soils are so dry and we have so little rain that we don't really have to worry about wet pastures. However, very, very shortly after we put the lamb and her mom out on pasture, she developed this limp. I investigated it. She has a huge amount of pus between her front nails. So here I show that we used LA, you could use LA 200, which is an antibiotic. The vet that we got it from gave us LA 300 because you only have to give it once. And then it got Copper Tox, which is supposed to sterilize whatever you put it on and then form a bandage over it so that it can't get rehabitated by more bacteria. But it's not really the bacteria's fault, it's the moisture problem that is there. So again, I've never dealt with this, but I did show you how I handled it and how to fill up your medicine. And remember, when you're doing subcutaneous, what you're trying to get is that you're forming a medicine bubble between their skin and the muscle. So you're not putting it directly into their muscle, you're putting it in sideways into just underneath the skin. And generally it does cause a little bit of a bubble because you're shooting the medicine right into that layer between the skin and the muscle. I always put it in slow and then pull it back just a bit and then put the medicine in. I can't really think of anything else that needs to be said except, yes, the pens that they are in right now are small. They were supposed to be out on pasture, but now I'm just watching for health problems. The bacteria is not contagious. Again, it has to have wet conditions. But in order to watch and see what it is exactly that's causing this lamb to have this problem, I can't have it out on pasture. So we're just kind of having to make do and punt. And that's that. We'll see how this turns out. So the lamb has foot scald, which is kind of a precursor to foot rot if they get into really wet conditions. And I've never seen it before. My neighbor's never seen it before. We're just too dry in this area to get it, but it's definitely what she has. She has pus in between her front toes on both sides. And there's a gland there that is where the bacteria gets living a little too comfy. So we looked it up online. The vet didn't know what to do for it in our area either. So this is Copper Tox, and this is what you put on their foot, and it creates a waterproof bandage on their foot and is antibiotic as well. Then Noromycin. LA 200 is the one that you have to administer every couple days. The vet said just do LA 300 and you just have to administer it once. Between both of these, it costs $37. So I will try really hard to get this on camera. The GoPro, when we load things up onto it, for some reason that makes the battery run out. So then we have to always remember to plug it in, and I forgot to, but I need to give the sheep her shot. So we need to go ahead and do this. Your tab first. Save it so your animals aren't eating it. This is your syringe. You always want it to be sterile. So that's the cover that it comes in. Can you see what I'm showing? Okay. All right, so then you need to screw your needle in. So again, you want a sterile needle. And you just push it in until it feels like it's really nice and snug. Then this one is which one is this? This is a number 18. Can you see the number? No, just tell me if you can see the number. Yeah. Okay. All right. So at this point, you turn the bottle upside down, put it in, and this is 3 cc's or 3 milliliters per hundredweight. So she is about 30 pounds, so I'm going to give her just 1 cc. And this one, so you want to pull it just a little bit past that so you can push the air out. See how there's that air bubble? Can you see the air bubble? I really want you to be certain that you can see it, Paige. Because I'm going to push some of it back in to make sure that I got the full dose. Okay? All right. So then I'm going to pull it back out. Going to clink it a couple times to get all those air bubbles up and in to that needle. Okay? Don't look at it with your eyes. Look at it with the camera. This is really an important one. And I think I need just a little bit more than that, because I'm going to have to pull those air bubbles out just a bit. So I'm going to go 1 line past the 1. Now this is under the skin, which will be called subcutaneous. Sub-Q. So I'm going to make sure I don't have any air bubbles in there. There we go. There's the last one. I'm going to push on it just a bit till I get up to that 1. That looks pretty good. So I'm going to put the needle back on. Okay, Paige, you go ahead and push stop and we'll restart it. Through under the mom because the baby can't really see you coming. And she feels calm because she's around her mom. So, okay, can you see her?
Yeah.
Up really close so you can see. Okay, the first thing we're going to do is give her shot. Okay? And you have to make sure you get up under the skin, and generally it's in the shoulder. Make sure that's in there. Okay, you can see what I'm doing really good. Okay, so right here, I'm going to push her up against. It's always easier to have somebody else help, but sometimes it's just not an option. Right there in the muscle of her shoulder. Feel around. Find her shoulder, and then with the wool especially, you have to make sure. You have to make sure that you are getting it into her. Let's see. Okay, with sheep sometimes it can be a bit of a problem. Okay, hold still. If you can immobilize their head, it usually helps a lot. Can you see what I'm doing? Okay, right here in her shoulder. Make sure that you get through. Can you see her skin?
Yeah.
Okay, we're going to go under her skin. Oops. And pull back just a little bit. And it's going to make a little bit of a bubble. Hold still.
Poor thing.
It's going to make a little bit of a bubble.
She does not like this.
Put it in slow so it has a chance to get in there. Alright, so where did I put that? Okay.
Oh, it's bleeding right there.
Yeah, it's gonna. Okay, can you see what I'm doing? Always put the lid back on so nobody's getting poked. Alright, so this is the copper tox. Back off a little bit, honey, you're super close. Can you see through? Okay, this is the copper tox.
Kaya, hush!
And you want to be really careful not to get it on your fingers. I don't see how you were obedient and went in the house if you're still out here with the dog. Okay, get up here real close to see her toes to see. She has a lot of pus right in there. You can see? See how I'm squeezing some of it out? Can you see the pus, honey? Okay, so we're going to put this on her.
She does not
And she probably really won't like it. If she was a food animal, we could not put it on her. But we won't be butchering her for a while. Please look through the camera page. Stop looking at the other animals. Okay, over here. You see it here? You need to tell me if you can see it.
No. Yeah.
See that? Can you see the pus?
Yeah.
Okay, she really doesn't like that.
Poor thing.
So we're going to pour that in there. And it's going to cause a bandage so no more bacteria can get in there. And it's going to sterilize it a bit.
Oh, green.
Yeah, and I wasn't supposed to get that on myself. Dang it. Okay. All right. So that's what foot scald looks like. And that's how much fun it is on the farm. Paige, you have to look through the camera. Paige, look at me.
Right.
You have to look through the camera, okay? So she should be doing better soon. Foot scald is supposed to be caused by wet soil, wet grass. You can see how she's limping just a little bit. The reason I'm trying really hard to get this on camera and why I'm being really specific with Paige about what she needs to be looking at is because it's a medical condition. I want to make sure you guys see exactly what it looks like, and I have no idea what's seeing through the camera. So if everybody thinks that I'm being mean to Paige, it's because she has a tendency to hold the camera out here while looking over here so that she doesn't know what she's getting. I'm only doing this once. I'm not giving her another shot, so that's why I need Paige to be really careful to get it all into the video, okay? So hopefully she feels better. They can get foot rot from this if it doesn't get treated, so.
Yeah. And then they could die.
And then they could die, yes. So hopefully that'll really work really good for her. You see how she's panting a little bit? It could just because she's a sheep and it's a warm day. She's a black sheep on a warm day, but
Aren't we gonna keep her though? For
yeah,
a mama?
but she's still black. She's still a black sheep on a warm day. So she's panting a little bit. Usually that means they're way too warm, and sometimes it means they're in distress. Because she's in some pain with that, it could just be that she's in distress from the pain of her feet. You don't want them to get that cough or tox anywhere else. It's a bad thing. So
That
okay.
the mama is protecting her baby
Yeah,
from the other goat.
Okay, let's open.
Should I turn off?
Make sure to keep that lid on that needle. You really don't want anybody getting poked by this.
Yeah.
These antibiotics are not approved for people. Okay, turn it off.